A very good morning, everyone. So, in this class, we'll discuss the next portions of the module one. I think for everyone, slide is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in the previous class, we have discussed regarding the production of prefabrication. We have seen various production stages there. I mean, the different types of productions, that is with stand method, conveyor method, or even we can call it as line method, and then aggregate method. Right, so we have discussed these all concepts in the previous class, and even we have discussed about the different materials what we are going to use in the manufacturing of the structural elements, right? And moving on to the next concept, that is the transportation. So once the structural elements got manufactured in manufacturing site or in the factory, say later they need to transport those structural elements to the required location, depends upon the weight of the structural members and the distance from manufacturing site to the required location. They are about to select the different types of vehicles for the transportation purpose. So here, this particular transportation of prefabrication elements that must be carried out and with the extreme care to avoid any distress in the elements and handled as far as possible to placed in final portion. So here we need to take care a lot while transporting the structural elements, because one thing is, during in our Indian country we cannot expect good conditions of the road, since the conditions of the road which is not suitable for all the places. Because what it happens if road is not good, suddenly you can consider this particular wheels or the alignments of these vehicles, if suddenly road humps comes, else the sudden any potholes and all comes, what it happens, suddenly if it goes down, I mean the wheels of the vehicles, if it goes down, entire load of the structural members which comes on these wheels, and that time whatever the stresses will get reflected on these members, that may forms the cracks between the structural members. Okay, so we need to take care a lot, such that we need to place the structural element at the correct place in the transportation vehicle. Okay, because whatever the distresses will get developed, distresses, you know how it will get developed during the transportation process, right? And then this transportation of prefabrication elements inside the factory, that is depends on the method of production which are selected for the manufacture. So you know the different production parts. I mean, in yesterday's class we have discussed stand method, belt conveyor method, and even the aggregate method. So depends upon this production setup, we can decide which type of vehicles we require, because this transportation not only comes from manufacturing site to the required location, and even within the manufacturing site itself we need to transport the structural elements from one place to other place. Because in some cases what it happens, in one particular place only all the concrete activities or steel activities will get finished. For example, the providing of reinforcements and formwork, placing of the concrete, and even the curing, right? So all these construction applications, or I mean these concrete applications, will takes place at a same place. And in some production setup what it happens, that reinforcements will takes place at one place, and the other activities like placing of the concrete, formwork, and then curing, so which is going to take at respective places, means it's not going to take at a single place. So that time even you require that transportation facility there. You need to shift that structural elements from reinforcement place to the formwork place, from the formwork place to the concreting place, and then from concreting place to the curing place. So like that it goes on moving from one place to other place. So depends upon the production method of the production also, this transportations will get depends. Okay, and then this transportation of prefab elements, from the factory to the site of the action that should be planned in a conformity with the trafficable rules and regulations as stipulated by the authority or even by the government. That is depends upon the size of the elements that is often restricted by the availability of the transport equipment. So here it's not like our daily steps what we are going to transport from one place to other place, like supplying of the materials like coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, cement bags. So we don't want any permissions from any authority there, right? So since when we are using special type of the vehicles like this, so they are going to consider all the rules and regulations of that prefabrication system. For that, even they are going to check the length of the vehicles, how much length it is there, and whether and how much capacity it is going to consider. I mean, whatever the structural elements you are going to place over this, they are going to check even the length of the structural member and even whatever the capacity of this vehicle will be having. So they need to check that also, and depends upon that they are going to give the directions. So you need to submit from as well as two place to them, and they are depends upon that they are going to give the best route for you. It's not like by using the Google map we need to move, because depends upon the road conditions, and in some roads the bridges and all it will be there. So that time when you used heavy weighted vehicles, it's not going to consider that particular load. So they are going to give certain directions as per the two, and I mean from place to place, and depends upon that you need to go with that particular direction itself, because all the roads it is not designed for this type of vehicles. So when we are using the special type of vehicles, we need to take some special actions for the transportation purpose, right? And we need to consider even which type of transportation equipments we need to use. That is depends upon the dimensions of the structural elements, and even the weight of those structural elements, and then how they are going to place over this transportation vehicles, like. So depends upon these all aspects we are going to choose which type of transportation vehicles we need to consider. And here that only you can see, such as tractor, am trailer, it's nothing but a transportation vehicle name. So that when you are going to select the long chassis vehicles, what it is going to happens during in curve roads and all, which is very difficult to take the proper curve. So that time what it happens, chances of de-stresses may get applies on that. So suddenly you can see in the curve sections and all, the load is going to come at only one side. So that time if it happens, the chances of accidents may also takes place. So they are going to choose the better route depends upon the type of the vehicle, and then the dimensions of the structural members. Okay, and then suits the loads as well as the dimensions of the member, in addition to the load carrying capacity of the bridges on the way. So as we have seen during our engineering days, I will give you one example. So we have seen a vehicle with 112 wheels. Okay, so for that particular case, they have prepared a separate road itself. I mean, during in some cases they have prepared separate roads, especially at the place of bridges and all. So during the construction of the bridges, they have prepared one more road where that water level was too less, and they have not allowed that particular vehicles on that bridge. So particularly they have prepared a separate path for that vehicles only for that particular duration. So think that such vehicles to move from one place to other place, which is very difficult. Okay, so we need to consider these all aspects before moving out that vehicles from one place to other place. Okay, and then so while transporting the prefab elements in various systems such as wages, trucks, bullock carts, etc., that care should be taken to avoid excessive cantilever actions and desired supports are maintained. So you can supply various types of structural elements. You can supply even building blocks. Even you can supply the smaller sections like doors and windows, and then chedjas, right? And the smaller wall panels. We cannot say that all the structural members are with big size itself. So we are preparing for the larger dimensions of the structural members, and then we will decide. So in some cases, even you can transport the structural members by using bullock carts also, and even by using the daily trucks what we are going to use in the construction, right? So whatever you use the transportation materials, I mean transportation, what we can call the transportation trucks and all, right, vehicles. So during that case, we need to take care a lot while placing those structural members, because here the excessive cantilever actions it may takes during at the curve sections and all, right? And that time we need to provide the desirable supports to maintain the steady formation of those structural members in the transportation vehicles. And here the special care it should be taken in negotiating sharp beds and uneven of slushy roads to avoid the undesirable stresses in elements and transportation vehicles. So as I said, we need to take care, I mean, we have to take care a lot, especially in negotiating with the sharp edges. So suppose the structural members might be which is with sharp edges. So that time, if suddenly curves and all takes place, we need to take care of a lot about the surrounding areas. That is one case. And when the roads are there with the sharp edges, so that time which is difficult to take the turn of the long chassis vehicles. So even we need to take care a lot, depends upon the type of roads. And then uneven of slushy roads. So slushy roads in the sense where the road condition was not good. So that time when you used these transportation vehicles, and always the jerks will takes place on every uneven surfaces. So that every jerks which is going to provide some or other stresses within the structural members. Okay, so that time it is not only going to affect that structural members, and even which is going to affect the vehicles also. So we need to take care a lot while transporting structural members during the transportation system. And then before loading the elements in the transporting media, that care should be taken to ensure the base packing for the supporting the elements are located at specified portion only. Suppose after the manufacturing process, they have placed those structural members at required location, and when the transportation vehicle comes from that storage area, they need to place that one to the required location, I mean in the transportation vehicles. So that time they are going to use the cranes and all, and once they need to place those structural members in the transportation vehicles, you need to take care a lot such that all the areas in the transportation vehicles it should be cleaned, and it should be even surfaces, because some or other materials will be there, and a single unwanted material that is going to cause again a lot of distress in the structural members, and then that is going to affect that entire member. Okay, and then and whatever the base packing systems are there, I think one more, base packing systems are there, it should be purely flat, and it should have certain supporting systems to that structural members, so that whatever the base what you can see here, so this one it should be flat, so that I mean in the vehicles, so that base it should be with the good conditions, so that it can support in a better way. Else if it's something if got damaged and cracks were there, that time if you use such type of base systems, then in some uneven road surfaces, which is going to cause distress and develop scraps within the structural members. Okay, so that chances may get occurs during the transportation. And even you can see the live example here. This is double T bridge. What they are going to segmental box arch actually it is. So how they are going to give the supporting systems to this? They are going to place. I think if it is not visible properly, you can zoom it. They are going to provide the certain supports here, right? So for these members directly they have not placed on the base of these transportation vehicles, they are going to provide certain supports within the structures, I mean just they are going to maintain certain gaps, and then they have used the thread like structures and they have tied it. Okay, so like that various cares should be taken while transporting the structural members. And then they need to place at specified portions only. For that, they are going to mark in the structural, I mean in the transportation vehicles, where exactly they need to place the structural members. I mean it should start from here, they have given here. So they are going to measure with respect to the dimensions, right? And here the marking systems will be there. So this is for the single panel. When you have considered the number of panels, they are going to mark at a specified space for this, so that they should maintain certain gaps from one member to other member. Here you can see this. Okay, so here they are going to take a lot of care while placing even the structural members. So depends upon the which type of structures we are going to use. Depends upon that this transportation vehicles will get decided. So here you can see the vertical members like wall panels and all. So these wall panels, they should specifically placed, and then they should tied up with some supporting wires. So here they have, you can see how exactly they need to provide the threads. So here they have given only one thread. So because of some issues with the roads or the sharp edges, the chances of sledging may take place between the structural members as well as with these vehicles. So they are going to provide the proper supports for the structural members with transportation vehicles, right? And similarly, here you can see when you are going to consider the heavy weighted structural members. So that time they are going to provide some additional supports which are fixed from this transportation vehicles itself. Okay, so whenever you transport any materials, we need to consider a lot of care procedures to supply those members from one place to other place. Okay, and then after the transportation process, we'll the erection process. So here the erection is nothing but it is the process of assembling the prefabrication elements in the fine portion as per the drawings. So once you supplied the structural members from the transportation vehicles, which is going to reach to the required location, I mean the site locations where that building is to be constructed. So there we need to shift these structural members from the transportation vehicles directly from transportation vehicle to the required location, else certain storage areas will be there, and depends upon that they can take the decision. Either they can place that one in the storage areas if it is available in the construction site, else directly they can erect from the transportation vehicle to the required location in the construction. Okay, I mean in the building itself. So that is depends upon the type of drawing. I mean as per the drawing they are going to install those structural members. And in the erection of prefab elements, the following items of works are to be carried out. So various procedures will be there before installing that one to the required locations by using the erection process. Various procedure parts are there. We need to follow this one strictly as per the guidelines. Okay, and the first one is the slinging of prefabricated elements. So here slinging is nothing but suspended materials or the suspended structural elements. So especially which are tied up with straps. Okay, straps are nothing but the thread like structures, and so that it should hangs loosely in the particular position. So why they are going to hang this particular structural members while placing, in the sense when you have tied up that one with the fixed ends, so that time which is very difficult to move that one at the required location. I mean to loosen that threads whatever it is used in the erection process, so that time it will be very difficult. And one more thing, if certain jerks and all it got happens, so chances of de-stresses may take place even in the erection process. So they are going to move that one with the suspended elements, means it should get hanged with free of, I mean, it should hang freely there. Okay, and then so tying up the erection slopes that connecting to the erection hooks. So you can see how exactly they are going to place the erection hooks for the structural members. Think that this is the wall panels. Okay, so and here they are going to decide these hooks depends upon the length of the structural members and even the weight of the structural members. So if the weight is less and length is also less, that time they can provide only two hooks at the end, depends upon the dimensions. And if hooks are, I mean, if the weight is, I mean, weight capacity is larger than the comparative one, that time again they are going to provide the extra hooks. So here they are going to lift by using these hooks. Okay. So here tying up the erection slopes that connecting to the erection hooks. So depends upon the type of member also they are going to provide certain slopes so that while the placing of that structural members to the required location, it should not causes any other distresses. So they are going to provide certain slopes at the erection process itself. And then cleaning the elements and site of the erection. So this is most important thing, because no one is going to consider on these aspects. So once you want to start the erection process, that surrounding areas and all, it should be cleaned, because might be some other obstacles may get happens. So you need to check the working radius of that erection equipment. So for erection equipment you can use so many types of cranes, which when you have studied in a mechanization subject, like the mobile cranes, derrick cranes and all. So basically in this prefabrication concepts, we can use the mobile cranes itself. Okay, so those mobile cranes depends upon the height, they will get adjust. And we need to check the working radius of these equipments or cranes. Okay, so that within that working radius no obstacle should get caused while erection or while tilting or while rotating. So no obstacle should get caused, so that cleaning the elements and the site of erection. And even before placing we need to clean that particular structural elements also, because while concreting and all, some or other unwanted materials may get attached, or if something which is there at the whole portions and all, we need to cover it before erection process itself. And even at the site also we need to maintain the cleanliness, because certain unwanted materials that may cause entire disasters to that structural members and even to the building. And here the fourth point, cleaning the steel which are inserts before the incorporation in the joints, and that is in the lifting and setting the elements to the correct position. So here in case of steel structures and all, you are going to provide certain holes and all, right, at the holes, so that through these holes the nut and bolt connections will come and join there. So before erection process we need to clean this entire holes, because might be the threadings may not happens properly, so that nut and bolt connections it won't fix properly. So we need to check it before installation process only. So once if we install there and that time if it is difficult to join with the nut and bolt connections, again we need to bring it back, like, so we are wasting the time and even the energy of that erection equipment. So before installation process only we need to check each and everything, whether that holes are clear or not, so that that connection should be properly fitted at the joint part, right? And then here the fifth point, that is adjacents to get the stipulated level line as well as the plumb. So once you start erection process, once you place that, you need to check the levels by using the plumbs and all. So that time uh, the people those who are fixing there, they need to be ready with these equipments like plumbing as well as the adjustment equipments, right? So once they installed and again if they start searching where it is there and all, again until and unless that those erection equipment should hold that structural members, so that time it is difficult. So they should be ready with those adjustment levels like line as well as the plumb. And then actually what it happens, while placing those structural members, they are going to mark that where exactly those structural members should come and place there. And as per that mark itself, I mean that mark which is depends upon the design aspects. So as per the designs only they are going to provide certain marks for the structural members. And within that mark itself that structural member should come and fixed. And still to maintain the vertical line and all, they are going to check the line by using the plumb and all. So that things it should be get ready before installation process. And welding of cleats. So basically this cleats is nothing but to connect the horizontal member as well as the vertical member. So whatever the joint will come here to this particular member, we can call it as cleat. Okay, so this cleats, it should get ready before installation process, and once they installed, they need to go with this welding of cleats so that it can give the better joints between the vertical as well as the horizontal members. And then changing of erection tackles. So if suppose if it is not fixing properly with that particular locations, they need to check the original positions of the erection equipment, because at a single place you cannot use all the structural member erection process from the transportation vehicles or storage area to the required location. So that time what it happens, we need to fix the place of erection equipment where exactly we need to fix, so that it should be feasible to move those structural members from one point to other point. So selection of that erection equipment also, it is must. And then the putting up and removing the necessary scaffoldings or supports. So as we have said, scaffolding is not at all required, but in some cases, especially with depends upon the height of the structural members, we need to provide certain additional scaffoldings just to place that one at the required location. So that erection equipment only, I mean the cranes and all, whatever we are going to use as the erection equipment, they are not going to fix exactly on that particular place itself. So you require some additional help from a certain committee members, so they are going to fix that one at the required location. So for that committee members or the workers, those who are working there, so for them, that scaffolding is required just to maintain the proper direction of those structural members. So for them, they require the necessary scaffoldings. Okay, and especially for the supporting purpose. And then welding inserts and laying the reinforcements in joints. It's like what, before the erection process we need to take care a lot for which type of joint we need to provide. I think different joints are there, it will be there in upcoming parts. So which type of joints we need to provide, and how much length of joint is required, that length of the joint and type of joint, which is depends upon the type of the members, which type of members we are going to use, and even the weight of the structural members also. Correct. So that one we can get decide before installation process itself, I mean before the erection process. So once after reaching there, if you start thinking which type of joints we need to provide and all, which is going to take huge time. So planning should be done before these all aspects, which type of joints we need to provide, what about the length, and which are the materials required for that welding process, right? So those all things it should be get ready before the erection process. And here I think my voice is audible to everyone, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes I need to get clarify, else sometimes the connections will get loosens. I goes on explaining, and for nobody it is audible as well as the visible. So I need some confirmations for every few minutes. Okay. Thank you for that. So now the next concept, that is equipments which are required for prefabrication. So for prefabrications, what and all the equipments, I mean which type of equipments are required since from starting till end, right? So those equipments are like, depends upon the equipments required for the prefab elements in industry, that is classified in various aspects. That is starts with machinery required for acquiring for coarse and fine aggregates, because we require the raw materials for prefabrication concepts like coarse aggregate as well as the fine aggregate. So we need to bring those raw materials from such places, and there also we require this machineries or equipments. And then the conveying equipments such as belt conveyor, or even we can call it as chain conveyors. And then once those ingredients are ready, we require next equipments like concrete mixers. Okay, and then the vibrators, especially for the compacting purpose. Different types of vibrators are there, depends upon the structural elements and amount of compaction. We will choose these vibrators. And then fifth one, erection equipment such as cranes, derrick cranes, and even chain pulley. Right. So these are the erection equipments what we can see in this prefabrication system. And then the transport machines, as we have discussed which type of machines we require, and then what precautions we need to take in the transportation concepts. Next, workshop machinery for prefabricating and replacing steel, that is purely helpful for the steel structures. And then the bar straightening and bending and welding machines. So here it is used for the reinforcement purpose, that in the certain structural members like columns, beams, slabs, and all. And then the minor tools and takes that, such as wheel barrier, concrete buckets, etc. Specifically, it is used in manufacturing site itself. So there are some additional equipments we are going to use for special cases. And then steam generation, a plant for accelerated curing. So basically, this is for a curing purpose of structural members which are manufactured with concrete members. Okay, we'll study one by one with some diagrams so that the things will get clear. So here machineries which are required for quarrying and coring of coarse as well as the fine aggregates. So as you all know that various equipments has been used for the quarrying process. Initially, after the blasting process, certain equipments like dozers and even some other equipments just to supply the materials, like, and even depends upon the type of the material or which type of aggregates or stone which is there, depends upon that, that crushing equipments also it will get depends, right? And you can see the different types of machineries. I think you have seen these types of equipments in the mechanization subject, so I think the clear idea will come. So after the crushing, so you can get the crushed materials over here, and again this one it is going to send through the belt conveyors, and then which is going to distinguish with respect to the size of the aggregates. Okay, and even nowadays they are going to prepare M sand by using these crushed particles of the coarse aggregates only. So that time they will bring down that particular size of the aggregates less than 4.75 mm, as it indicates with the fine aggregate stipulations. So they are going to use some belt conveyors and chain conveyors for the same. So from one place to other place. So especially at the raw collection of the raw materials to the crushing plant. So once it got crushed, and which is going to send to the proper sieving machines. So there it is going to get separate with respect to sieve sizes, 40 mm down, 20 mm down, 12.5, 16. So depends upon the requirement, the aggregates will get separated with respect to that sieve sizes. Okay, and then the concrete mixers. So in prefabrication concepts, you require the huge amount of concrete. So choosing of the concrete mixers by using the batching plant. Okay, so that the exact amount of the aggregates will come for the mixing purpose. Like in the RMC plant and all what you have seen. So then once the concrete mixed, in yesterday's videos you have watched how exactly the concrete is going to supply from outside of the manufacturing site to the required location. First, initially, it will come to the hanging bucket like structures, and then which is going to come at the one more equipment which is going to place the concrete to the required members or within the form box. Okay, and then the vibrators. So depends upon the type of the concrete or structural members or even the depth of the structural members, we can use these types of vibrators. Here the first one what you can see, this is, we can call it as needle vibrators. So here this particular needle vibrator which is going to compact the concrete especially at the place where the concrete, I mean, the compaction process is not feasible with respect to the manual compaction. So that time, so this vibrators, again, it is having different diameters. Depends upon the reinforcement dimensions, this diameter of the vibrator will get decided. For example, whatever the space or the gap which will get developed within the reinforcements. So you have studied the how you are going to provide the reinforcements like 8 bar centered with the center to center of 160 200 so you'll be designing in RCC, right? So depends upon that spacing, this diameter of the needles which will get decides. Okay, so this one it will help you to compact the concrete in the vertical sections. Okay, and this one we can call it as plate vibrators. So where the horizontal members like slabs, wall panels, and even during the road constructions and all, also we can use this plate vibrators. So two people have to hold this handles and then the machine will get start. So here that vibration process will takes place and which is going to compact the concrete. So like that, again different vibrators are also there. So these types of the vibrators will be using in prefabrication concepts. And then cranes. So especially in the prefabrication concepts, cranes are required in various aspects, like to erect one from manufacturing side to the storage area, we require clay cranes, and even to shift that one from manufacturing side to the required location, we require different types of cranes. So this is which type of crane it is? Can somebody tell?
Sir, I think mobile crane it is.
Yes, exactly. Very good. This is
Mobile crane,
mobile
sir.
crane. Very good, very good. So depends upon the height of the building, we can extend the member of this mobile cranes and then which is going to help to erect the structural members even at the high-rise buildings. Okay, and then here you can see how exactly they are going to place the structural members by using the mobile crane. Okay, and even you can see the providing of the threads at this part. You will study these concepts in the upcoming parts, but still I am telling how exactly they are going to provide the supporting threads for these members. Again, which is depends upon the working radius of this cranes and then the type of the structural members and even the weight and even the dimensions of these structural members, right? So depends upon the various concepts, they are going to provide the supporting systems to these structural members. And then here also you can see the erection process which can be done by these cranes. Okay, and here you see you can ask only at this particular place we can provide only one joint, I mean one hook, and we can lift this, or as I said, depends upon the length and weight, you can provide two different hooks, right? So but here they have provided four and one more fifth one they have given with additionals. Still, if it is required, we can choose that also. So this one is extendable. So whatever this member length is there, this length of the member which is extendable. Okay, depends upon the length of the structural members. It can get expands and even these hooks they are going to provide as per the length of the members. Okay, so providing of these hooks, especially at the erection part, which is most important in the manufacturing phase, because this one you can't provide after the manufacturing process. These hooks you need to provide by deciding the type of equipments which is available in the construction site, especially used for the erection purpose, and the capacity of that equipment, right? So depends upon those all aspects, you need to provide the hooks for these structural members. Clear? So once you fail to provide the proper hooks at the proper dimensions, this prefabrication concepts won't applicable for those thinking. So we need to plan in a better way such that we need to lift that one smoothly without causing any distress in the structural members and even to the equipment. Okay, and then these are the transportation machines what you can see, right? So even that will be helpful to transport the structural members from one place to other place. I think regarding these transportation machines, I have shown you enough transportation vehicles and the arrangements of those vehicles. And then workshop machineries. So especially while preparation of the steel structures by using frame like structures and all. So this workshop machineries will be helpful. So in workshop itself, they are going to manufacture these frames as per the design concepts, and then they are going to provide the proper weldings at the joints or the nut and bolt connections, whatever the type of joint which is there. So depends upon the design concepts, they are going to provide the joining facilities to them. And then after that entire preparations, they are going to lift this entire structural frame to the required location. Okay, so only a short term members, I mean only this particular frame we are going to supply with each and every time, and then might be they may feel difficulties to join or weld that one at the construction site. So they have switched to this part, means whatever the manufacturing phase is there, I mean this entire frame like structures, it has to manufacture in the factory itself or in the workshop itself, right? So here also you can use various machineries which are used for the steel frames. And then bar straightening, bending, and even welding machines. So nowadays in the updated versions, all in one equipments or machineries are available in the market, so that you can bend the bars and even you can straighten up as per the directions. And even the welding also, it can be possible in a single machine, right? So this one it will be helpful especially at the providing of the reinforcements in the structural members. So basically the structural members, like where we'll get the reinforcement, slab, beam, chedja, and then columns, right? So in these all aspects we require proper reinforcements. So these machineries also will be helpful to provide the reinforcements within the structural members. And then last one, that is steam generation a plant for accelerated curing. Since we cannot wait until 28 days of normal curing here, I mean the water pond curing and all, what we are going to do. So if you want to construct at the earlier time, we need to switch with other types of curings which are good at curing with a less duration concepts. So here that accelerated curing which is given by some steam energy, so within a shorter period of time, that steam curing will be used to complete that curing process. So that one we can be preferably used in prefabrication concepts, since we cannot wait 28 days of normal curing, because here the continuous process is going to be takes place with the mass productions, where in manufacturing site or in the factory. So once you start waiting with the 28 days, which is going to take a lot of time to complete the process. So they are going to switch with other techniques such that this curing process and all, it should be done at the earlier time. And even they will not be having much place to for curing process and all, right? So these all are the different equipments what we can see in the prefabrication concepts. Yeah, and planning coordination, like is all concepts we can discuss in the further class. So the things are understanding, right, for everyone? Please let me know about this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If
Yes, sir.
if anything we are going fast, or if some concepts are not understanding, please let me know, because
Okay, sir.
online will be different and even offline will be different. So to gross the points face to face is different than the presentations part what we are going to explain here. So if certain changes you need, or if some concepts are not understanding, please let me know, so that we'll take the better actions to cover those things as per the requirement. If it is fine, then we'll continue with the same concepts from next class onwards, because 1 week we need to check which one is feasible for the students. If it is right to understand the concepts, then we'll go with the same method. Is it fine?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Thank you. Just place your name and USN. We'll continue the class in the next. If you're having any doubts, you can ask. Else, you can disconnect the call. Rohan,
Yes,